guys, welcome back to Pat to Mama Bear. Today we are going to be making a baby sweater type thing. Anyways, we're going to be making the sweater using the granny stitch. So you're going to need some yarn. With this yarn, it is a little bit thinner, so I'm going to be using the 4.25, which is a G6. Your yarn needle, some scissors, and some stitch markers. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you guys how I start my granny stitches. Now you can either start them like I'm doing, or you can use the magic circle. I really don't like the magic circles all that much, so this is just how I do mine. You're going to hold the tail and you're going to go around your fingers, and then you're going to make an X, so you're going to bring that yarn up and then come back around and hold in place. Now you're going to go under the first one, and then you're going to grab the second one. So under the first one, over the second, and you're going to grab it and pull it through. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 4. So you're going to yarn over, pull through, and that's 1, 2, 3, and here is 4. You're going to go into that 4th chain, the first chain that you made. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. You're just going to go through, and then you're going to yarn over and pick up that yarn, and you're going to do a slip stitch and just go through both of those. So holding the tail along the outer part of the circle that you just made, we're going to crochet around it. That way there's no weaving in or anything or sewing in the ends. So now what we're going to do is we are going to chain up 2, 1, 2, and that is going to be your first, it'll be your first double crochet. So to do a double crochet, and we're going to be working in the middle of this right here where you can see my nail. We're going to yarn over. We're going to go into the center of that. And then we are going to yarn over again and pull through. So now you're going to have 3 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2. Now you have 2, and then you're going to yarn over again and then pull through 2 more. And we're going to do this one more time. And so we are going to yarn over, and we're going to insert into the middle right there. So we're going to yarn over and go through. We're going to yarn over and pull through that circle. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and then pull through 2. And then we're going to make 1 chain. And we're going to do 3 double crochets into that same space where we've been working. So yarn over, insert in the center, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So now we're going to do 2 more. We're going to be working into the same space. So here's my second one. And then here is my third one. And we're going to do a chain 1, and then we're going to work 3 more double crochets into the same space. So here's 1, 2, and then here is my third one. Here's 3. Now what we're gonna do again is we are going to chain 1 and then make our last 3 double crochets into that center. Now that we have, there should be 4 clusters of 3. Here's 1, 2, 3, and here's my 4th one. Now I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to go into the top of that chain 2 space that I did, or the chain 2. So there's 1, and then here's the second one, and we're going to go into the top of that. And then slip stitch. So now to do your next round, it's going to be a chain up 2. We're going to turn our work and work into this first corner piece right here. So here's our first double crochet, but our chain 2 counts as our first double crochet. So we're going to do another one, and then we're going to chain 1. And then into that same corner space, we are going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and then here is 3. Now in this corner, it's another corner, so we're going to do the same thing. We're not going to chain, we're just going to yarn over and go straight into that next corner. So we're going to do our 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets. Right back into that same corner, and we're going to do our 3 double crochets. And here is another corner. We're just going to not chain, just yarn over and go into that corner and do our 3 double crochets. So here's 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then go right back into that corner and do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into this corner, or not the corner, sorry. I'm done with the 3rd corner and I'm rounding over to my 4th one, and we are not going to chain anything. We're just going to yarn over and go into this next space that's right here in our corner and do 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets. Here's 2, 3. Okay, now we're going to chain 1 and then go into back into that corner and then do 3 more double crochets. Here's 1, 2, 3. We are not going to chain this time. We are just going to go into the top of our chain 2. There's 1 and 2. And we are going to just slip stitch into that. So this is how our granny square is starting. You can grow this as big as you want, and then we'll pause the video, grow it as big as you would like, and then come back and I will show you our next steps for this. So you're just going to continue to do your rounds, which is chain up 2, and then you can turn your work and then work through here, or you can leave it like this and then just put your 2 double crochets and then continue around this way. I just like to crochet or chain up 2 and then turn my work. That way there's more space on this side. So we're just going to, this is all we're doing. We're just going to continue to grow our granny square, and we will be back as soon as it gets to my desired size. Okay guys, so I went ahead and I did 7 rows just for this video. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, you can use different thickness of yarn. It's completely up to whatever you want to do. So with that being said, I did do 7 rows. I counted 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now all I'm going to do is count the top, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then this is the middle right there. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is the middle. So I'm going to take the 2 outer, well actually like, yeah, about the 2 outer ones right here. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and make a slip knot really quick. And then I'm going to take my hook, and I am just going to lay my edge down, or my tail down, just so that way it's not in the way. Or what you could do is you can weave in this, you could take your needle actually and do this part, and you can just go kind of weave in your tail, just so that way it's well hidden and you don't have to worry about that part coming undone at all. So we're just gonna continue down this, and then we are going to just cut it right there. It's not like it's going anywhere. Okay, so this corner right here, we're gonna go into, and you're just going to start your granny square. So we're gonna pull that through, and we're just going to chain up 2, and we're gonna work, we're actually not gonna work into this corner. We're gonna go into, we're actually gonna chain up 3, and we're gonna work into that first space and do our 3 double crochets into that first space. So it's this space, not this first one right here, because this has 1, but we're gonna do our next set right here, and this is 3 for this one. And we're gonna go into our next space, which is right here, and we're going to just work our 3 double crochets into that space. Okay, and then we're going to chain up 2, and we're going to turn our work, and we're going to actually, I'm sorry, I messed up. Okay, so we are going to do our 3 double crochets into this space, and then we're going to do our 1 or our single, or no, sorry, 1 double crochet into that 3rd one. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one. So now we're going to chain up 3, And we're going to turn our work and work another 2 double crochets into this space right here that we just created. 1, 2, and then we're going to do our next double, or 3 double crochets into the next space. And we're going to do our last 3 double crochets into this space. Let me take out my hook and show you guys what it looks like so far. So now we're going to just keep growing up this way. And when we go to measure it, what we're going to do is it's like this. So then we'll just flip it like that. And then we would turn, or like fold this part right here because it'll match up with right here. So we're just going to go like this. And then this is your length part. This is how far down you're going to actually be doing this. So you're going to go from here all the way down to right here. But you're only going to be doing this little space right here. Or these, this right here. So I'm going to show you guys how to do our next row. And we're going to chain up 2, turn our work again. And then into this space, we are going to do 3 double crochets. Go into that one, and then there's 2. And then here is my 3rd one. And, sorry, I had to get more yarn. Okay, now we're going to do our 3 double crochets into our next space. And here's the next one. And then we are going to go into the top of that last stitch, or the last double crochet, and we're yarn over, and then we're going to go into the top of that. So that's how it's going to look. Again, we're going to chain up 2, we're going to turn our work and work into this first space right here. 1, and then here's 2. And we're going to work into that next one. And this is all we're going to do, is we're going to be repeating rows 1 and 2. So there's our 3 double crochets, and then we're going to do our last 3 double crochets for this row into that last space. Then we're going to chain our 2 and continue doing that. So yeah, I'll meet you back when I have both of the sides done to match for the front part of our jacket. Okay guys, so I finished the 2 front parts of this, and I did go ahead and I started from each corner and worked my way up. So it would look like this one folded. Now we're going to work on the sleeves. So what we're going to do for the sleeves is we are going to start another granny stitch, or another granny square. So we're going to make a slip knot, and I'm going to crochet or chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to put it in this first chain that we did, and then we're going to pull through both of those. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain up 2, and then we're going to go into this middle part right here where my nail is. I'm gonna yarn over, and we're just going to do a simple granny square. So there's 1, and there is our first cluster of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we did our chain 1, and we're gonna go into that same circle, and we're gonna do our 3 double crochets again. It's 2, and then here is 3. Grab some more yarn. And then we're going to chain 1, and then just do our another cluster of 3 double crochets. Yes, the yarn is different colors. It is the same ball of yarn though. It's just because I don't remember what happened, but I ended up splicing it and then putting it back together. So we're gonna chain 1, and then we're going to go back into that same circle, and we're going to do 3 more double crochets. Here's 2, and then here is our 3rd one. So now we should have our 4 3 clusters of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to go into this chain 2. So here's 1, 2. And we're going to slip stitch into that. So now what we're going to do is chain 2, and we're going to keep repeating this all the way up until we get our desired length of our sleeve. So we're doing a corner. There's my first cluster of 3. We're going to chain 1 and put 3 double crochets into that same corner. It's just like when we made the back of the sweater part. So this is the back. This is the same one that we just did. We're not going to chain. We're just going to go straight into that next corner. We're going to do our first cluster of 3 double crochets. Now we're going to go and we're going to chain 1. And we're going to go back into this corner. So here's 1, 2, and then here's 3. Again, we're not going to chain. We're going to go straight into the corner. And we're going to do our 3 double crochets. So here's 1, 2, and then here is our 3rd one. And we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to go back into that same corner and do 3 double crochets. And then here is our last one. And here's our last corner. So we're going to just go into that, and we're going to do our 3 double crochets. And then we're going to do our chain 1 and our 3 double crochets. We're going to make 2 of these because these are the sleeves. So now we're going to close this round and we're going to go into the top of that. Oops. We're going to go into the top of that chain 2 that we did in the beginning. If I can grab it. And we're going to slip stitch. So now we're going to go ahead and grow this. I'd say 6 or 4 rounds maybe. I'll come back at 4 rounds and then show you if we're going to make the sleeve with that or if we need to continue to make it bigger. Okay guys, so I got the main sweater part and now we did the sleeves. I went ahead and I did 5 rows. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I know it may look a little weird because it is a whole lighter color, but that is what was in this skin of for this. So all 3 have different grays, different blacks, and this awkward white part, which it's fine. It's for a doll. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this and we're going to lay it flat. And we are going to find the middle of our granny square. So it's 1, 2, 3. So about right there. Wait, let me see. 1, 2. Yeah, about right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our stitch markers and we are going to just put it in the middle. And then we're going to find this part right here where the granny stitch, the square meets up with this right here. And we're going to just put our stitch marker right there. Let me get my other one. We're going to do the same with our other one. So here's 1, 2, and then 3. We're just going to put it in the middle. And then again, we're going to find where these 2 meet and we're going to put it right there as well. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to we're going to just pick it up and actually I'm going to fix this side. Okay. So we're going to put it right here on this and then attach it with our stitch marker. I've already gotten my yarn that I'm going to use to sew this on. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and tie a knot into it. And now that we have our knot, now there's a reason for this knot. We're going to go ahead and match this up like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to just put our we're going to put it into the corner of whatever one matches with our little granny square that we have. And we're going to pull this tail almost all the way through until we get to that knot. Alright, I told you the knot serves a purpose in this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our yarn or our yarn needle through right before that knot. And then we're going to go ahead and pull all the way through. I'm going to go through those 2 again. And then I'm going to hold my tail down as I'm going. But before I grab that tail, I'm going to take the next 2 stitches, and so that way we can just sew them together. And we're going to do this for both sides, for both of the sleeves. So this is all we're doing, is just sewing, making sure that we grab each one of those stitches of both the granny square and the body of the sweater. Once we get to the stitch marker, we can go ahead and take the stitch marker out, because there's no reason for it now. We're going to take the tail of both ends of the tails of both sides, and we're going to keep the tails flat. That way we don't have to come back and sew those in. We're just going to keep on going all the way down, and we will do this for both sides. So we're almost done. With this first sleeve, and then we'll go to the other side and put that one on as well. I will do that one off camera, that way you guys aren't sitting here just watching me sew both sides in, or both sides on. Now, if you would like to make this look a little bit neater, you can go ahead and get some yarn that actually blends in with it. But for this video, I am going ahead and working with what I have on hand. And it was this, like, I forgot what it was called. It was that cake something brand. It was a yarn cake, and that was just one that I had on hand. I figured I'd use it for this video. Okay, so when we get to the end, we are just going to tie that. Okay. And we're just going to go back through just to make sure that it is secure and it's not going to come undone after we cut the ends. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is I am just going to go ahead and cut the yarn. So when we go ahead and we, oops, I forgot to cut the end. Okay. So this is how this side of the sweater looks. After we get done putting the other side on, we will go ahead and start sewing. Oh, hold on. Okay, we would go ahead and start sewing this right here. That's after we get this side put on. So I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera, and I will come back and show you guys how I sew the rest of it together. Okay guys, so I got both sleeves sewn on. Now all I'm going to do is go ahead and match up this and sew both sides. So I'm going to show you on this side how to sew this together. So we're just going to go through the very corners. And again, let me scroll in or zoom in. It's a little too much. Okay, So now I'm going to do my little knot, and oops, and I'm going to insert the needle in the middle of this strand. I think that's the middle. Okay, so now we're gonna just go ahead, oops, and pull that all the way through, and that'll be like a secure knot. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to line up the sides and try to sew this all the way up. Making sure we get both tail ends in there. So that way there's no weaving in any ends. I have made a bigger version of this sweater for one of my daughters, and she absolutely loved it. So this is all we're doing, is just sewing all the way up the side of this jacket or sweater. So the way I'm sewing it, it makes it easier to sew in the ends as well. That way it's not a whole lot of weaving or end weaving that you have to do. And this is just the way I do this. There are other crocheters that do things a little differently. I think it just depends on how you feel and how you what your style is, basically, or how comfortable you are with all of it. So now we're in the corner. We're gonna just make sure we have both sides of this sleeve, and we're just gonna continue all the way through to the end of your sleeve. Okay, so once you get to the end, which I'm almost there, we will tie off and make sure that everything is secure. Oops. And then I will go ahead and do the other side off camera, and then come back and show you guys how the whole thing looks. If you guys don't already, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you guys can see more fun crafting. Let's see more doll clothes that we make on here, and some other different things that we do on here. Okay, so that is the end of this sleeve. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to just pull this . Okay, and we're gonna make sure that that part is tight while we're making this loop smaller. And then we're gonna put the needle through it and do the same thing. Just pull the previous knot, and then we're gonna go through one more time. And then we're going to go back up through some of those stitches that we just went through with our needle, just to hide some of this tail. And we don't have to try to sew in our ends again. We're gonna cut off our end, and that is how I sewed that side. Now let me go ahead and sew this other side, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the whole finished thing looks like. Okay guys, so here is our little sweater for a baby doll, or if you make it a little bit bigger, it can be a baby jacket or baby sweater, whichever you want to call it. It does look a little weird. I have the lighter yarn coming through, but here it is. Here's the finished product. I hope you guys like it, and if you do, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in our next video. Bye.